Thank you all for being here. I want to give a special welcome out to our trustees, our chairman Bill Bonner, his wife Janet, Mike Gauchowitz and his wife Pam, who will be here for a little bit later, our faculty, our staff, students, and especially the 23 scholarship donors who are here with us for our this is actually our 5th annual scholarship celebration dinner. So thank you for taking the time to join us tonight for that. The first scholarship dinner here at Williamson took place in 2018. COVID actually caused us to cancel one year and actually do a virtual celebration another year. But in just 6 years, we have grown to 40 scholarship donors who support named scholarships for 107 of our students. Pretty awesome. This year, we've added 9 new scholarship donors: the Armstrong Foundation, the Justin Muir Foundation, who are a new legacy scholarship donor, Azura Vascular Care, Fresenius Medical Care, the Builders League of South Jersey, CAES, Nick DeBenedictis, the Upper Makefield Business Association, and PJ Tech. So thank you all for joining our group here. Our named scholarship program provides over $1.3 million in support to our operational expenses each year. As you know, Williamson relies on the philanthropy of everybody to support the incredible gift that we give our students of free, no tuition, no room and board, every student. The money's got to come from somewhere. It's about $11 million a year to run the school. So we need our endowment and our donors to help us make this possible. So tonight we celebrate the philanthropy of each of you and the accomplishments of our students that you're sponsoring. The 2022-2023 school year is one we've been planning for and looking forward to for several years. This year, we brought in 124 freshmen. The previous biggest freshman class in the history of this school in 130 years was 101. A big step for us to bring in 23 additional. That's a 20% increase. In order to be able to do that over the past 5-6 years, we've been working towards that in a lot of ways. 5 or 6 years ago, you would have been standing outside right now. This was not part of the dining room. It ended right there. So the dining room expansion was part of that. The Thomas and Agnes Heenan Chapel mezzanine was dedicated this fall. The Heenans are here with us tonight, and they provided the funding for that so that we could put 50 more seats in the mezzanine and about 20 more in the front of the chapel, again, planning for an expansion. This fall, we were able to open the William and Judith Strine Dormitory in August, and that was a generous gift of the Strine family to allow us to have another dorm to house our students. And this year was also the start for the first time of a new program, the electrical program. So we brought in 20 students in a brand new program, and the curriculum for the other 5 programs also had some major modifications. So we're fine with 124 freshmen this year, and then next year we'll bring in 124, and every dorm will be in use, and probably pretty much every bed. But then the following year, we got a problem. We have not enough room, and so we have a plan for that. PJ Dick is here as well, and they're the company that we just contracted with to build the new Howley dormitory. It's a triple dormitory. They'll have 3 dorms under one roof and room for 72 more students. And so we're pretty excited that because this is just phase 1 of the next 2 years of the expansion. And you might say to yourself, why would you expand? I just want to give you some recent numbers. We just had the admissions meeting for our incoming class next year. We had over 500 applications. Now, of those, we had 317 that were considered qualified. That meant they came to both interviews, they passed the academic screen, and they got everything in that they needed. And so they were a qualified candidate ready to come in. But unfortunately, even with the expansion, there's only 124 spots. So what we do is we focus on those with the most financial needs. So just so you know, of the 124 acceptance letters that went out, 118 are Pell Grant eligible students. We have about 85 to 90 on the waiting list that are hoping that one of those people decides they don't want to be here at some point and then can slide in before we get to mid-September. So we got plenty of students that want this opportunity, and unfortunately we don't have room for all of them. And then on the other end, the 3 years later part, as you know, many of you know that we have so many companies that want to hire our students. that we decided years ago to have a career fair where the companies could come, meet the students for the purpose of hiring. And that's grown through the years. This year, between our fall career fair and our spring career fair, we had a total of 235 companies from 21 states, and they grossed over, well, the revenue that it provided to the school was over $138,000. And these companies come here knowing that there's 230 some other companies, and that the number of seniors we have in this year's graduating class is 67. So I think the board and all of us that are in the leadership positions feel like, as hard as it is to work to do these things and raise the money and do the things we need to get the dorms, we really have an obligation to try to do everything we can to bring as many young men in here to give them this great Williamson opportunity. So none of this would be possible without your generosity and the people here in this room and many others, so thank you. I'm now going to ask Sean Howitt, our assistant chaplain, to offer a blessing before the meal. Then we'll have our dinner, and then we'll have some remarks following dinner. So thank you all for being here. Sean, you can take the mic.
Let's bow our heads in prayer. Oh, gracious and heavenly Father, we thank you and praise you for this beautiful day that you have blessed us with. We thank you for everyone that has been able to gather here today to celebrate and to discuss the incredible mission that you have given Williamson. We thank you for Isaiah Williamson and the beautiful vision you gave him to give the opportunity to deserving young men the opportunity to learn a trade free. As we thank you for the deserving men that are here tonight, Lord, that are using the gift that you have given them through Williamson well as they continue on their 1,000-day journey. And of course, Lord, we especially and particularly thank you for the donors that are here tonight that make it all possible. We thank you for their generosity. We thank you for their philanthropy. We ask that our partnership may continue for years to come. Thank you for this evening. Please bless this food and bless our conversation and bless Williamson. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Prepare deserving young men to be respected leaders and productive members of society. To accomplish that mission, each year over 100 students are admitted to Williamson College of the Trades. And this year, 124 young men were offered admission to the college in our freshman class. All young men are able to apply, but special consideration is given to those who come from families of financial need and who may otherwise not be able to further their education. Moreover, Williamson provides students with a holistic education that includes academics, trade, technical, moral, ethical, education, and a living environment based on the Judeo-Christian perspective that fosters our core values of faith, integrity, diligence, excellence, and service. This unique and very rewarding educational experience is offered at low or no cost to all of our students. We are grateful that we are able to offer this tremendous learning opportunity to students year after year. And we are also grateful for the support and generosity of donors, like the ones here in this room this evening, and those who cannot be with us. Because of your generosity, we are able to continue to fulfill our mission. Young men are able to be active participants in an educational process that is of great benefit to them, their families, their community, and our society at large. Our students are learning, they are growing, and they are becoming. We are also grateful for the hard work, tenacity, and persistence of the students who continue to thrive here on our campus. So this evening, let us celebrate. Let us celebrate both the donors and the students who continue to give and to receive faith, integrity, diligence, excellence, and in service. Thank you, donors, and thank you so much, students. I'd like to introduce Justin Williams, class of 2W4, to the student for Martin. Here,
Good evening, everyone. My name is Justin Williams. I'm a junior in the Machine Tool Technology program. I grew up in Briarcliff, which is a neighborhood inside of Glen Olin. I first learned about Williamson through a few graduates, but I really learned about the school. The school was all about my brother Jason. But after learning about what the school was about and our core values, faith, integrity, diligence, excellence, and service, I knew that this is where I wanted to go to school. On top of it all, I knew that I'd be accepting a full scholarship to learn a trade, get a college degree, and become a better man. Before attending Williamson, I went to Monsignor Catholic Monsignor Bonner Catholic High School, and at Bonner we had a very similar disciplinary system. Couldn't have our phones, we had to clean the shade, I had to wear a suit and tie. So the transition from high school to here was a challenging for most. But the biggest challenge for me was the long days, the early mornings, just getting out of bed, getting all my work done. But my time at Williamson has been great. I'm fully confident that I made the best decision choosing to come here. Before coming here, I applied to 8 different colleges, got into all of them with scholarships, wanted to go to school to become a lawyer. The trades was like really never thought in my head. I never really wanted to work my hands, never wanted to be a tradesman, but learning the trade, machine tool technology has been a blessing because now I always have that knowledge of the trade in my back pocket. There are days here where I am less motivated to get my work done and to get up and go to line up and push my way through the day and then go to bed at 10:30. But there's so many great guys around here that push me and motivate me each day to get my work done. In addition to the hands-on training that we receive, we also get the opportunity to meet with over 100 employers twice a year that come to our career fair to come hire Williamson men. Last summer I actually landed an internship at Lockheed Martin, and I was doing electrical and mechanical maintenance. This summer I'm very fortunate to have a few different offers from a few different companies, and I'm still deciding on what is the best fit for me and my journey in life. But my experience at Williamson has taught me more than just a trade. The best thing about Williamson is that we are all building character here. By following those core values, faith, integrity, diligence, excellence, and service, it shaped me into the man that I will become one day. My dreams after graduating here are to be a good father and a good husband, and by following those core values, I know that I'll be able to achieve those dreams. Overall, attending Williamson has positively affected my life in every aspect. I've learned so much inside and outside the classroom and shop. I've also met so many great guys, made so many great memories that I'll cherish forever. None of this would be possible if it wasn't for the scholarship that I received at Williamson. I'm so grateful to both the Air Products and the Howey Foundation to be their named scholar, and it is an honor to be at the stand with my fellow student scholarship recipients and the generous people who help fund our education. You are part of what made Williamson School thrive, the assistance that you provide for Williamson. So thank you all, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you so much, Justin. It's now my pleasure to introduce our trustee speaker this evening, Mr. Michael Piotrowicz. Mike is not only a great speaker, but he leads by example. He and his wife Pam are one of our legacy scholarship supporters. And although Mike is not a graduate of Williamson, it's been an important part of his life for over 30 years. He is the longest serving member of our Board of Trustees and he started his first year on the Board of Trustees in 1989. He's a very generous donor and has done countless things to help Williamson and its students. In 2006, he was recognized with the Isaiah Van Sant Williamson Award, which is our Board of Trustees most prestigious award. He's a person who exemplifies in his life the works and the ideas of our founder, Isaiah Williamson. He is the founder of Legacy Advisors LLC in Plymouth Meeting, and his firm's core values are client first, work hard, excellence, positive attitude, respect, and always do the right thing. The Legacy Advisors also has a charitable arm, the Legacy Foundation, which provides support to individuals who are mentally, socially, and financially deprived through no cause of their own. In addition to his work at Legacy and his support to Williamson, he serves many other organizations, including his alma mater, Ursinus College, where last year he was honored with the Bear to Bear Impact Award for leadership and service to Ursinus. He also serves on the Marine Corps Scholarship Foundation, which provides educational funding for children of Marines killed or wounded in battle, and the C.W. Schrenk and Marjorie J. Schrenk Family Foundation, which was founded by his good friend Mickey, who was a Williamson graduate in class of 1949, and the person that first introduced Mike to Williamson. Mike and his wife Pam celebrate their 42nd wedding anniversary this year and have 5 children and 10 grandchildren. His generosity in contributing his time, talent, and treasure over so many years has made a transformational difference in the quality of the education of our students. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our speaker, Mike Jacobs.
Thank you, Mike. The introduction may be longer than my remarks. Much appreciated. Thank you, everyone, on behalf of the Board of Trustees. So much was already said by Mike in his opening remarks as to what we're accomplishing here, what we're looking to continue to accomplish through our growth strategy, the growth we're going through now, and understanding what that takes from a philanthropic standpoint. Michelle's comments on as far as the academic side, how important that is, the strides that we're making on the academic side. And Justin, thank you for your great remarks, talking about helping us see this institution through the eyes of the most important people and students. Just your remarks really bring home the reason we're all here. Okay, it's really about the students. So as we, I was thinking about the event tonight, and I'm not sure why, but there's been many analogies of three-legged stool. And three-legged stool is it's the sturdiest. It's the sturdiest, strongest, apparatus that you can actually sit on. It just has an evenness, and it has a balance to it, and a strength to it that really makes it pretty special. It also tips pretty easy. So if you get off it, it tips. And I think tonight, for some reason, I'm thinking about the three-legged stool. And the three legs of the stool are, first of all, the donors. Okay, the donors, without philanthropy, this institution does not exist. From all the way back to Isaiah Van Sant Williamson, all the way through the times, and I've been here for quite a few years, there's challenging times. We have a very challenging business model. As Mike said earlier, it's not just a tuition-free, but a room and board free institution. And without, it's not even that it's free. It's that it has to have a very high degree of quality. Okay, these employers wouldn't be welcoming to this campus. The many employers, some of them are here tonight that we're putting the Williamson product into their organizations, into the world, into society, is making it a better place. A better place not just on the pure business side, but on the social side and on the human side. And when people of character enter the world, it makes a big difference. So without the donors giving us the financial ability to do good work, this organization just doesn't exist. And it's all about scholarship. It really is. It's why we're here. It's to provide for each of these students and the ones that are doing other things tonight and that constantly come through here that we support. So Donors, thank you for being here, thank you for caring about these students, caring about the institution. Without you, we can't not only be here, but we can't even think about growth and adding students, because we have to fund it, we have to continue to fund this process as we go. No, the scholarships are, the scholarship program that we started really comes in three flavors. It's the annual scholarship where I want to do something and help somebody this year, and here's a donation, and here's somebody that you can identify with that donation, and get to come tonight, get to have an interaction with those people, and I know I enjoy mine very much. There's multi-year scholarships, which, I'd like to make a donation for maybe a student for 3 years to go through and see a student all the way through the 3-year program, or some variation of that, whatever financially feels like it fits. Or there's the endowed scholarship, our Legacy Society. And that is a commitment that someone would make to have a scholar in perpetuity. So whether it's a current funding during lifetime, and maybe an endowment at passing or sometime in the future, so that the earnings on that principal, the donation, will be invested and that interest can be used to provide a scholarship forever. Or a check today that goes in the bank and that interest funds a student forever, and that's just knowing that forever there'll always be a student coming through Williamson that the donor has the opportunity to support. And we are looking to grow all of those opportunities through our different scholarship programs. Arlene and her staff and Kelsey and then the others are here. If anybody knows anybody that you think might be interested in the mission that we have, please reach out. We can be happy to talk to you about that and help you through the process. The second leg of the stool is the students. Okay, and it's a great night tonight. It's one of the great. The commencement and tonight are two great. They're two great days because it's the students are here, and that's the central focus. So to all of you, I would just say you probably don't look at it. You're humble, okay? You're caring, you have character, you have strong values, but you're the leaders. You're the creme de la creme. You're the best. Okay, so take everything you're learning, everything. We probably could put any one of you up here, you have similar remarks to Justin, but go for it. Okay, you have a work ethic. You know how to go after something. Okay, and you know how to be a good person and an honest person, and deal with your life with integrity. So don't sit back. Don't take second place. Go for first place. You have a skill set and you have a God-given ability that you've proven over the period of time you've been here, that you can be really valuable members of society, both academically in your work and in the environment, and as a father, a husband, a good human being, a friend, whatever it takes to help other people. So to you scholars, to you students, I say real congratulations on your achievements, your accomplishments. It's not easy here. We know that, okay? But nothing in life that's worthwhile is easy. It just doesn't work that way, okay? So you're getting a great education on that value system of knowing if you do the work, you'll get the results. So continue to do that. Continue to do it as you go through the last few weeks after break coming up next week. And those of you that are going on to graduation, we'll see you there. For the others that are coming back, we'll see you again next year and continue the good work. And the third leg of the school is the administration and the faculty and those who have made this their mission for life. Okay? The people that come to work here, they don't do it for the money. They do it for the love of the mission and the love of the students. And there is, to a person, every person that enters here and works here has a commitment beyond any to the mission and the organization. And on behalf of the Board of Trustees, I want you to know that we know that it does not work without you. And all of you here that care so much about these students, it is what makes us great. dedication, the commitment, the relentless time that you put in, the caring, the compassion, the understanding, and everything else that goes along with that is what makes this work equally as well as the donations of the money and the students that come here and earn that opportunity to earn a scholarship. So to all of you here and those that are not, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, thank you for your hard work and dedication to Williamson. So, just there are a few people here that are Legacy Society members, and I'd just like to recognize them. That's the Endowed Scholarship in Perpetuity, the Justin Muir Foundation. Lori Cushman's here representing them. As Mike said earlier, it's a new Legacy Society member. Thank you, John and Bernadette Heenan. Legacy scholars and much more to Williamson than just that scholarship, as you heard earlier with the chapel. Bill and Janet Bonberger, our chairman and our first lady, are just the countless hours and time and commitment and money. It's beyond belief. And then and to our keynote speaker, Charles Fisher, who Mike will be introducing in a little bit, is also a Legacy Society member. So thank you for your perpetuity scholarships, but equally important, thank you to all of you who have made this scholarship dinner special and contributed so much of your time and of your financial wherewithal to support these students. Thank you all. God bless and have a good night.
So much, Mike, and I think for the students in the room, you kind of get a feel for, I know you don't see the trustees every day, you don't see them around, but we have an amazing board of trustees that are so passionate about the mission, and the mission is you. It's not buildings and other things, it's the things that you're doing, they're committed to doing everything they can to make this the best environment for you as possible. So when you do meet the trustees, make sure you thank them for all they do. So tonight, our final speaker is Mr. Charles Fisher Jr., and he'll be making his remarks on behalf of the donors in the room. So Charles Fisher Jr. was inspired to begin his support of Williamson in 2019 when his father passed away. I met his father, Charles Fisher, Williamson class of 1941, and his beautiful wife, Alice, when Mary Nell and I visited their home in North Carolina in 2015. I was pretty new to the job. And he just had an amazing impact on me. They had been married 70 years. She told me she came to an event at Williamson and saw this guy who looked really sad, and he was just hanging out, and she said, I have to go over and make him feel better. And so she did, and they struck up a conversation and a romance and eventually got married. 1941 was a tough time around this parts, right? That's when World War II started. So Charles, when he graduated, went into the Navy. He's a very smart guy, and he ended up going to Princeton for a while and then continued his education at MIT, married his wife Alice, and raised a family, and was very accomplished in all the successes that he had in life. A lot of different things. President of the National Association of Corrosion Engineering, and go on and on and on. Amazing guy. When I was at his house, I noticed that his fireplace, he had a mantle, and they had like 3 wood cutouts, and I recognized the one in the middle. It was Rowan Hall. It was Williamson, and I asked him about it, and he said, those 3 buildings represent the things that are most important to Alice and me. And he said, the other 2 are churches. The first church is the one that we were married in, and the last one on the end is the church that we belong to now, and that's the church that we'll hopefully get to heaven through, right? But Williamson is the other one. And he said, you know, Williamson gave me everything. It gave me my faith, it gave me my wife, it gave me all the things that allowed me to be successful. So there was no cutout of Princeton, there was no cutout of MIT up there, it was Williamson. And when Alice passed away in 2018, Charles passed away the next year, he left the school $1 million. Now, when we talked to him, he said he was going to give us a gift when he passed away, but he didn't ever tell us it was going to be that substantial. And I know when Arlene found out about it, contacted the person, and they said, yeah, he didn't want to tell us because he didn't want us to make a fuss about it. He just wanted to have that be a surprise upon his death, that the $1 million would come and that would establish the scholarship. So, an amazing, amazing guy. So, Charles Jr., his son, benefited from the Williamson education too, like a lot of our people do, because their fathers attended Williamson. If you look at our board of trustees, there's at least 5 that did not attend Williamson, but their fathers did. And they will tell you that the things they learned at Williamson, how they brought them up as their son, had an impact. Charles Jr. was born in Philadelphia, grew up in Reading, PA, and after graduating from Wyoming High School, earned a bachelor's degree in business and economics at Muskingum, did I say it? Muskingum, got it, in New Concord, Ohio. Muskingum University, college at the time, but university. He then began a lifelong career in sales and marketing, selling corrosion protection coatings. Got that from your dad too, right? Yeah. And such as power plants, paper mills. He worked for numerous companies, North Carolina, South Carolina, New Hampshire, Texas, Missouri, and Georgia, and retired as Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Fujifilm in North Carolina. He's active with the Tyrone Presbyterian Church, where he serves on a session and is a finance officer. He's a proud owner of a replica 1965 Shelby Cobra and enjoys taking it to car shows. So any of you juniors here, you might want to talk to him about next weekend. Get that out there. I'm sure probably win. He also enjoys outdoor projects at his home. He married Lynette in June of '91 and lives in Hendersonville, North Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mr. Charles Fisher, Jr.
Thank you, Mike. God, what a be here for such an important and significant celebration. I learned one thing today, that the length of my time is probably out of step with Williamson's standards. I want to know if I'm going to get a pointer. I'm not sure how I was chosen to represent the zone. Maybe it's because we come the longest distance from Western North Carolina. Arlene Mount. In speaking with Arlene about being before you, she suggested 2 areas to speak. One was the motivation for my dad to establish Legacy Scholarship. It's easy, folks. It's easy. This is where he got his foundation for his life. Character, education, skills, everything that he could gain here caused him to build where he achieved through the balance of his life. The other thing I was asked to speak about was what the Williamson education meant to my father and our family. I think to address what it meant to my dad, I have to tell you a little bit about him. Dad's father died when he was only a few years old. His mother remarried, and the circumstances at the time were such that Dad went to live with his grandmother. Then came the Depression, and his grandmother owned a furniture store, lost everything. The consequences of that were difficult, because that means Dad now at a boys' home over in Houston. So not a lot of family support involved. However, one of his instructors, teachers at the time, recognized that as he approached that age out of the group home situation, where do you go? That instructor knew about Williamson. Helped Dad get enrolled. Dad became a student. He was in masonry class, masonry part of the trade. And as you heard Mike say, he met my mother here. The story she tells that these gentlemen you see serving with the goat ties on my mom. My dad was doing that same strange thing that night. And she was here at the invitation of her cousins, because her cousin's father, Frank Clayton, was also a Williamson graduate. So not only do I have Williamson influence on my dad's side, I also have some Williamson influence on my mother's side. They met, they dated, Dad graduated. Dad went home to really, really tough job laying bricks on the Caribbean island of Haiti. Tough. Of course, the war came. Dad enlisted, and at the time there was an opportunity for enlisted men to take a test. If they passed that test, they could become officers, entered in the officer candidate program. Dad passed. Largely because of the experience that he, education experience and leadership that he had gained here at Williamson. So part of that program was that those gentlemen also received a college education. As Mike said, Dad went off to Princeton. That's where he started. And he tells the story that he had the opportunity study under Albert Einstein, please. That was because his classroom was one floor below Albert Einstein's office. The program changed a little bit. Some are asking, what does that mean? The program changed a little bit and had went on to MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, distinguished program. He graduated with a mechanical degree in engineering, President Lowndes knows that. Continued to serve on active duty, spent some time during the Korean conflict in active duty, and ended up with 6 years active duty. Additional years in the Navy Reserve and graduated, retired from the Navy at the rank of lieutenant. Very well. So it was a combination of foundation that started here, additional opportunity for leadership in the Navy, gave Dad the opportunity to get his license, get a licensed professional engineer, start to get into some management responsibilities, step by step through his career, point to becoming President and Chief Executive Officer of an organization and company of $270 million a year. He also served on corporate boards and some industry associations. So that I keep coming back to that word foundation, which I think is critical in understanding Dad's accomplishments. Combined with the opportunities and influence of the time. That enabled me to answer the other part of the slide. That is what the Dad's education and learning experience means for our family. It meant that he and Mom had been dating and being married a total of 78 years together. A wonderful, loving relationship. It meant that we had a loving, so I have all the terms here, supportive, comfortable home. We were able to get good public school and college education, which enabled both my brother and I to go on and have public families of our own. The result of all that was, let me share one other, that's what it meant to our family. Knowing about Williamson in my own career as a protective coatings engineer led me to meet people in that industry also Williamson Branches. And that enabled me to have a relationship and conversation with people in the same industry that I might not otherwise have had the opportunity to experience. So I think some folks may say, well, your dad was able to capitalize on opportunities of the time and circumstances. I think he would say to all you young gentlemen here today that regardless of the time, there's always going to be circumstances. There's always going to be opportunity. And it's how you use what you gain here. Build your own foundation. And to move forward in your own career, your own family. So that's where I think Dad would come from. I think he would also say that his legacy scholarship here is one of paying forward the opportunity. He would say, as opportunities come to you in your future life, be it participation in alumni programs, whether it's guiding someone else to Williamson, whether it's you find yourself in a position to hire people in your area of creative interest, look at a Williamson guy, hire a Williamson. And the timing and circumstances allow financial support is also very much needed, very much appreciated. But all of those are certainly an investment in this place that gives you life's opportunity. It's been an honor to be here. It's been since I believe about 1961 when I was last here. So it's been a while, but Williamson is in the hearts of the Bishop.
Thank you all our donors for coming out tonight. Thank you to the students for being here, being such great company. Please receive the benediction from the Lord. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Lord, make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Go in peace. Enjoy your evening.